What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we are going to be showcasing what I think is a new best in slot weapon added to Destiny 2 during Season of the Haunted Season 17. Guys, if this weapon isn't on your priority list, it absolutely should be, and frankly, it should be at or near the top as long as you have access to the activity that it drops in, and that is going to be the Duality Dungeon. Now, you do need to get the Witch Queen Enhanced Edition or the Dungeon Pass, and if you guys want to know how to farm the crap out of this dungeon for rewards, check out the video linked up above. But the weapon in question is the brand new Lingering Dread Grenade Launcher. Now, what makes this thing so good? What makes it best in slot compared to other grenade launchers? Well, let's look at the other options because this is actually the first ever stasis grenade launcher that uses special ammo. There's some stasis heavy grenade launchers, but nobody uses that stuff. So it's going to be in that top kind of kinetic slot. So taking a look at its competition, firstly, we got the Ignition Code. Now, this is from Season of the Splicer. Fantastic weapon, admittedly. Like, this can get slide shots, so you can shoot, slide, shoot, slide, shoot, slide, and especially if you are using this with like spike grenades just offensively, you can output a significant amount of damage doing that. However, in the 30th anniversary update, the Pardon Our Dust was introduced. Now, this has access to blinding grenades combined with auto-loading holster. And even though the Ignition Code can also get blinding grenades, which are so darn good for endgame content, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw this exact Pardon Our Dust in so many of my Grandmaster loadouts, because this is probably one of my most used weapons for grinding Grandmasters last season. And that's just because the combination of auto-loading plus blinding, letting you whip out that grenade launcher, shoot it in front of you. All the enemies in front of you are going to stop attacking you. They're going to start wandering around. You can either switch to other weapons, get easy shots on them, or you can use that breathing room to go get a revive, do an objective. It is just like the anti-ad capabilities, the crowd control with a blinding grenade launcher is so good when it comes to endgame content. So keep all of that in mind when we now look at the Lingering Dread. So this is the role I'm going to be grinding Grandmasters with later in the season, and those are coming up on July 5th, only a couple more resets. Now, firstly, of course, I have blinding grenades for that incredible amount of utility. Then I have auto-loading holster, such a good combination with blinding. But then, guys, the fact that this is that only stasis special grenade launcher really comes up, because obviously if you're running something like a stasis build and you're running Font of Might to increase stasis weapon damage, your obvious choice is this one. Like, you're not even going to consider a kinetic grenade launcher when you can use a stasis grenade launcher and get so many benefits in terms of synergy. But because it's a stasis grenade launcher, it gets access to those stasis exclusive perks, and in this case, you get Chill Clip. Direct hits with the top half of the magazine cause a detonation that slows nearby targets. Oh my goodness. So first of all, because the magazine size is 1, it's always technically the top half of the magazine. Every single shot will activate Chill Clip, and Chill Clip is ridiculously good in PvE. Guys, as you know, stasis, being able to freeze and slow enemies, is literally god tier when it comes to PvE. I mean, I was using a stasis Warlock, especially with the introduction of the Osmiancy gloves giving you that second grenade. I was using that in the Glassway. The Glassway Nightfall is supposed to be one of the hardest Grandmasters in the entire game, and stasis in that Nightfall was near essential to being able to complete it, in my opinion. Like, it was so effective. So we've seen how good being able to freeze an enemy solid. If there's a champion pushing you, you can freeze them solid with 2 hits of Chill Clip. The first one slows, and again, it's an area of effect. A lot of people forget that, but if you hit a group of enemies, all of them are going to be slowed, and you've seen that in the background gameplay. But one additional hit either at that same enemy or to a nearby enemy, so you're affected with chill clip twice, is gonna freeze you solid. So again, that champion is pushing you, 2 shots, frozen solid. Mini boss, 2 shots, frozen solid. Wyvern, right? Getting ready to absolutely jump up and crash down and wipe your team. If you freeze it, if you get that freeze, it will stop midair, come to the ground completely frozen. Because freezing enemies doesn't just give you those few seconds of reprieve where they're not able to attack you back or do anything, it also cancels whatever attack they're in. It makes them kind of reacquire you when they've unfrozen, and those extra few seconds are vital when it comes to, again, getting revives, completing objectives, getting behind cover. All of that stuff super important in the PvE endgame. So now you have a grenade launcher with blinding grenades, and it gets all that utility of blinding, and then you give it another utility perk with chill clip, and the result is honestly like the best crowd control weapon in the entire game. Like, if you're in that high level content where you're not just able to kill all the enemies, like if you're in a low level strike, just shoot them all with your SMG, they're dead, right? You incandescent explosion a few of them and they're all dead. But that's not necessarily going to work in a Grandmaster where it takes an entire magazine of your SMG to kill one red bar. So you need to be able to control the enemies advancing on you. And so being able to shoot a shot, blind them, and slow them, and then potentially with one more shot, freeze the more powerful ones of them, it's just insane. Now, of course, this is all combined with the dungeon origin trait Bitterspite. While this weapon is equipped, taking damage accelerates its next reload, taking more damage increases the effect. You're going to be reloading quite a bit with a special grenade launcher, so this is definitely something pretty valuable. And I mean, its competition, the Pardon Our Dust and the Ignition Code, they came out before origin perks were a thing. So this is another point of advantage that the Lingering Dread has. But guys, even though I do think that blinding grenades plus autoloading plus chill clip is the best overall role that's just going to be so darn good as a utility weapon, there's actually an alternate god roll that you should consider. Now, that is going to be leaning into chill clip even more, and that's going to be not going with blinding, but preferably getting spike. I didn't get it on this roll here, but spike grenades gives you bonus damage for getting direct impacts that chill clip wants you to do. So you combine that with ambitious assassin, and that's going to overflow the magazine. Get just a single kill with the Lingering Dread on any sort of red bar, very easy to do. Reload, now you have 2 rounds in the magazine. And that goes incredibly well with chill clip because as you're seeing in the background gameplay, you just go pop pop with those 2 rounds, you've frozen an enemy. And with this kind of roll, we're leaning into the fact that chill clip is actually kind of a damage increasing perk. Now, I talked about its utility, but you gotta also remember when you freeze an enemy, that enemy is going to end up shattering. And shatter does damage. In fact, it got a buff, I think, last season to do even more damage. And I actually did a video showcasing that you can combine a chill clip rocket launcher with Galahorn because all of those extra Wolfpack rounds will also be granted chill clip. And a single shot of a chill clip rocket with Galahorn does more damage than explosive light or lasting impression, again combined with the Galahorn, just because that shatter damage is so high. So that again is another factor in the Lingering Dread's favor. If you do have to use it for DPS, even if it does have blinding, because you are freezing and potentially shattering, or your allies are getting those shatter effects, you're doing significantly more damage than if you were just shooting an enemy with a normal non-chill clip grenade launcher, especially if you're incorporating, blinding grenades. So that's another important factor in the Lingering Dread's favor. Overall, guys, fantastic weapon, god tier weapon. The fact that we're getting chill clip on just a special here, it is so easy to use. Holy crap, this is definitely going to see play. going into Grandmaster Nightfalls. Guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.